What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Grind with your hosts, Slimzilla and Yeti.
Hello, world. What's up? And welcome to The Grind. Jordan, what's up, my friend?
What's happening, man? You good?
Yes, sir.
Have a nice weekend?
Yes, sir. My back is bending, a little bit back.
You're loose as a goose.
Yes, sir. I'm making it. I got a bone to pick with Detroit Energy up here in Michigan, but, we're not going to worry about that too much. Here's dog wanting to show her butt in the middle of the screen.
That's good, man. Hey, we love dogs on this show, bro. Trust me.
Hey, so today
to the dog pound.
Today I got my Saxonville shirt on, and just wanted to talk to you about your adventure with Lescott Stewart and how that all worked. Like how did you guys even decide to get that started?
It's funny how we got it started because obviously before when I mentioned about like fashion was a big thing in England, and my best friend Julian Lescott, like we both knew each other from super young, and then he went on to play for like Wolves, and obviously I played for Leicester. So it's funny how we knew each other before like getting to that professional level, and we both made it pro and played against him a few times as well. So that was good. But we just got talking about like just fashion and why don't we just create our own brand? So without knowing much about it, it was like, okay, well, who can we speak to? First person we spoke to was like, okay, it seems like he knows what he's doing. Gave him like a bunch of money, and the business was doing well. We got into like Harvey Nichols, which is like a big high-end store, almost like, I don't know, like a Saks Fifth Ave, kind of that. And I think that was predominantly because of Joel at the time. He was playing for Man City, so doors was opening easier than.
That's the whole point, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Of your platform.
Exactly, saying like a normal Joe Bloggs be like, okay, just put this in our store. So we got like a project manager and got someone to design all the clothes, and we had people like 50 Cent, a lot of athletes wearing our product. Like 50 Cent was wearing it in one of his videos. I can't remember what video it was, but through one of our friends, Tony. So we was getting out there, but just the cost of just like getting the product, and it's what we kind of found out is all these big companies, they can buy the product, but they've got like a 90-day window to actually say, okay, now we're going to give you the money. And then but by then you've already ordered a year in advance, because say we're in 2021 now of July. By now we've ordered stuff for 2022 spring summer, and you've got all that inventory. And then if you don't get it out, then it's in the distribution center. You're having to pay someone. You have to pay for storage. So over time, we figured out it was getting a lot of money. And obviously at the time, our focus was playing soccer. So it was great, but just as a full-time company, and like I said, the cost, it just wasn't working out. So in the end, it was like, you know what, let's just squash this before we just keep burning money. Like,
you end up with like a whole like ton of clothes that you got to wear for a long time because of that.
Now, luckily, I always had like my freebies, but luckily we was able to get rid of most of the stuff, so we didn't have a lot of stuff extra. Even though every now and then my dad's always like, "Oh, what happened to all them clothes?" Because he's always looking for a freebie, man.
Like
so
me.
Even though, yeah, exactly. So you got that Saxonville. Tell us about the story about that. So I got the first part of when you guys was at Niners. I think I got a free T-shirt there.
Yeah. There you go. So that's where it got started. Actually, Nick Schwimmer really came to us and said, "Hey, we'd love to take advantage of, you guys being a part of the Niners at this time when we had a really good team." And the idea was to make it fun, something kind of simple that, we can, I threw it on everybody's chair at the first day of camp, right?
Yeah.
And it was really a cool thing because Justin Smith, our, all-pro defensive lineman, threw the shirt on first day of camp and went and did the first day of media with the shirt on. So couldn't line up any better. I mean,
just free advertising.
Absolutely. And Justin gave me a little pitch. He was like, yeah, it's something. They asked, what is the shirt you're wearing? It's a pretty cool shirt. You know, we got like, obviously it was San Francisco at the when I was there, and it had those colors. And we got Grim Reapers with all the defensive linemen's numbers on them. Pretty cool, you know. And we had some really good defensive linemen out there. So the guys all loved it. They all wore the shirts. As soon as Justin mentioned it on in front of all the media, actually sold out first day. And the cool little side thing from it was we were trying to, you know, support kids in need in the area, that, you know, hungry kids that needed to, you know, get their lunches or whatever. And we tried to do sack lunches for every shirt sold. We did a sack lunch in the area as well. So nice. It had a really cool little philanthropic side to it. And I went to Jacksonville after that, and it just sounded like a easy thing to do to go with Jacksonville. So did the same thing there. And, you know, it's not the market that San Francisco is, but we sold a few shirts, got to have a fun little, more of a get together with kids from the Boys and Girls Clubs there. And it was a really great thing. But the funny thing that happened with Saxonville is it just seemed like a natural thing to call it. And when I got to Jacksonville, we made up Saxonville and also trademarked it. Yeah. So I didn't really, you just do that in business, right? You just go ahead and do things like that and see what happens. Well, a couple years later, Saxonville is huge. They're saying it on ESPN. They're saying it all over all the radio. Like the Jacksonville went to the NFC or AFC championship game. Like, it was a huge deal, and everybody's calling them Saxonville.
So you were just there like, bro, let's keep the merchandise rolling, bro. Yes,
let's go. But just like a lot of things with the NFL, they pretty much stole it from me. I went and Jacksonville Jaguars had their lawyers call, and they're like, hey, we want this trademark. And I'm like, well, it's mine. You can't have it. And it pretty much, there was some back and forth. I tried to get them to do philanthropic things, because really that's what I thought the brand was about, right? For me, it was like, I want to do, how about do a park in the area? Like, I'm trying to shake them down for anything I can.
Yeah, of course.
None of it was ever money. I never asked for a dime. Yeah. So if you're Jacksonville fans, you need to know that right now. But I asked for them to do a park in the area in the name of Saxonville. I asked them to do, a portion of the proceeds that they make off the shirts or whatever they do with the name, and put it towards hunger, like all these different things. No, like just not even wanting to do anything. Like, there's really nothing colder than an NFL lore, to be honest. But so basically got to the point on the call where the lady said to me, like, we're going to just keep spending money and take this from you, and you're either going to give it up or you're going to have to spend a lot of money. So I just said, all right, I'm going to talk about it later, but you can have it.
So they come with the bully boy tactics.
Pretty much bullied me, man. And there was actually a pretty good write-up about it in one of the newspapers, like a national write-up. And it was really funny because there was another part of it that they mentioned that my LLC that owns Saxonville is Yeti. Yes, I'm the Yeti.
The Yeti.
It had nothing to do with like coolers or any of these cups or anything. Like, Yeti wasn't a thing yet. Yeah. So, but by the time they wrote this kind of write up in ABC or whoever wrote it up.
There was the Yeti cooler brand invested.
They think I'm stealing everything. They're like, you've got Saxonville, you've got Yeti. Like, what's this dude doing? But it's like, no, like, these were real ideas that I just, with friends came up with. So it was a wild thing, man. And they ended up big bodying me and just saying, hey, we're taking this. Like, you can either spend the money to fight or not. And it was somewhat disappointing because I asked for them to build a park. Like, come on, man, build a frick.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like, you give me X amount of dollars.
Exactly.
You're like, listen, go and help the community.
Like,
let's build stuff for people.
And it was sort of frustrating because I got a lot of negative media from that write-up saying, oh, Skuta's trying to take this for himself or whatever. Like, that belongs to the team. And I agree. That belongs to the city of Jacksonville, and that's why I tried to push for a park or something. Yeah. But obviously the Jaguars being who they are, they want to put it in their pocket, whatever. Honestly, I don't think much has come of it from them because they went back to sucking the next year, man. So whatever. But I'm a little bit mad about it if you can't tell.
I would be mad because, like you said, you come up with the idea yourself. You got the LLC, and then because they're obviously a huge company, then they know, especially with NFL, man. They got like people in government and everything.
Oh,
so
I know.
It's not like you're just dealing with like a private firm.
Oh yeah,
it's like
I know.
You're dealing with America.
Dude, this phone call was like, I had to stop myself from laughing all the time because it's like, I am negotiating with NFL lawyers right now. I was riding a hoverboard around my house laughing while I'm on the phone, and she's telling me like, we're just going to outspend you. You're going to have to give it up. It's like, dang, man. So I put up a good fight. They at least had to spend some money on their lawyer, and it is what it is. I never took anything for it, just so everybody knows out there, though. So
you got any more T-shirts, or you got rid of them all?
I probably got something I can send you.
Yeah, hey, medium, bro, medium. I might be a large shoe, bro, because you know what I mean. Man's back in the gym doing bits.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, we might have a medium for you. I'm not like you, where I only have shirts for guys my size. I'll make some for you.
Yeah, you got across the board. Yeah. Across the board, should I say?
Exactly.
So say athletes and like young people coming into, if they're just turning pro, what would you say is like sound investments to have?
Something like this, right? Something like doing some shirts and something fun. Because actually, my teammates loved it, right? Like that was what made it work. I honestly didn't care how much we sold. I really just wanted to do something fun for the defense in San Francisco and in Jacksonville. Yeah. And we also did hats that said defense that were really cool. It was really meant to be something to bring the defense together and just have something fun, because defense hardly ever gets any love, right? So I would say try to stick to stuff like that, unless you really – some guys come from a background where their father or mother or somebody in their family is a business person and maybe they can handle things for them. I would recommend staying pretty low key if you're not in that area, if you don't already have that.
You haven't got that expertise.
Because just like, I don't know what happened with you guys, or there's a lot of other things out there, but those guys that come to you and say they're going to do stuff for you, that's a red flag right off the bat. You got to watch it.
Well, like we mentioned before in previous episodes, right? That like we've both been burned in those areas. So,
right. Yeah. There's a lot of punks out there, man. So just doing small things that are fun for the team. Couple of T-shirts that at the worst you bought, $1,000
exactly.
T-shirts or something. You're not putting hundreds of thousands of dollars out there. And it's really fun, and maybe you come up with something cool that does end up making some money. Then that's great. And I highly recommend doing something philanthropic with it, man. Like that, really, to have those sack lunches out for the kids, and to be able to just in Jacksonville, we had just a dinner with Boys and Girls Club. Like that's really the rewarding things that feel good. And you're already making a lot of money in your sport, hopefully, right?
Yep.
So most of your energy should be towards that. Like, yep. even if you were to make a lot of money in business, like if you're not continuing to do well in your sport because of it, and it sounds like you guys chose soccer, right? Like it was getting to a point where it was just too much. Let's just choose soccer.
Yeah.
And that's what I did too. Even with my bigger investments, it was like, okay, maybe I invested $100,000 into this, and that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it's more important that I make this money and do the right things on the field, because that's where the real money's coming from. So I think as long as a young guy could stay focused on what they're doing, that's what I would say. I mean, is that what you would?
No, I totally agree, because like you said, the thing in England, a lot of the older players always is more like real estate, like get a house as like early as possible. I was like 19 when I bought my first house. So they just want you to get on the property ladder, because I don't think people know about like stock market and that as they do in America. It wasn't as big, even obviously now with the pandemic and social media and all the stuff that's gone on with like cryptocurrency and GameStop and all these things. It's getting more accessible to look upon on like YouTube or whatever. But from when I was coming in, it was mostly like real estate. bricks and mortar, something you can feel, something you can grab, rather than like you said, someone saying, I can give me $100,000 and I'll turn it into 500.
Right. Yeah.
Even though people still do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And the thing is, as much as like we're like, nah, like it's like, but we've both made the mistake, you know what I mean? So just sometimes I think a lot of people, they want it right now, right? They want that quick process where if you look at someone like, I don't know, like a Warren Buffett or someone like that, it's over time, man. Like nothing's going to happen fast. So you just have to if you're going to invest in something, just say, okay, this is what I'm willing to lose. And then hopefully after 10, 15, 20 years, then you can reap the rewards.
Exactly.
Like, if not, go small.
Exactly. And to use a baseball analogy, let's hit singles, let's hit doubles. We ain't swinging for home runs every time. That just doesn't work. And if someone tells you they got a home run, then you should run a background test.
Background check on them. You ain't hitting no home runs with that bat, bro.
Exactly. So yeah, man, I think, but I think it's a great thing, and it can be really rewarding for people. And when it comes to the brick and mortar stuff, like, don't make the bad decision of buying something where you're playing just because that's where you're playing. Because you know what, you might be gone in a year, and now you got this house there, and it might not be the best market. So, being smart about that, and really, like, I tell people that are getting into business now, have 3 or 4 people that you really can rely on and bounce things off of, and as like a mentor, and that'll really steer you in a great direction. Having 3 or 4 people that have already been through it, that will, put you in a great direction, that will always tell you the truth, and that you can really trust, because that's what it really comes down to with all this stuff. You got to be able to trust people, and, it needs to be a good person that has your best things in mind for you. Yeah, no, for sure. Well, we got some Vover swag coming your way soon, so we got some more freebies. I'm glad they were able to put out some double XLs for your boy.
Yeah, exactly. And for all the listeners, hopefully we'll get the shop button up soon, and hopefully we can sell some Vover merch to all you guys.
Let's go.
Cool. Okay, always a pleasure, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Vover.